Oh,
All right, we're live.
okay. Ah,
Good morning.
there we go.
I'm Justice William Mead of the Appeals Court, and this is your appeals on hearing, Mrs. Seymour. So I think that the judge has made some findings regarding non-frivolous defenses. No evidence was presented at the hearing, and he said he waived the bond. What's before me now, I suppose, is the $700 a month in use in occupancy. So why don't you explain to me your position on that, Ms. Seymour?
Okay. Good morning, Your Honor. As I've said since day one on this situation, I came into this tenancy as a work for rent barter. That was on November 3rd, 2020. So it's been 33 months that I have not paid rent. I don't have a lease. I've never signed anything to the contrary. And I have provided 33 months of unpaid services as a property and tenant caretaker on the premises. The landlord is not on the premises, and he hasn't been for 33 months. He'll be 81 in 2 months, and he's had a lot of serious health problems. And basically, I've taken care of everything on his behalf. There's never been any agreement between he and I that I would also pay, or that he would pay me for my services, which are thousands of hours.
Do you have anything I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you have anything in writing from him with the services for rent exchange?
No, he doesn't do things in writing. Everything's cash. There's no paper. There's nothing.
Okay.
I've known him for a very long time, and he needed somebody to be in the building. The building is this commercial moving business building, and he sold that moving business about 6 years ago to someone else, but he has tenants living on the second and third floor of the building. So one of those tenants, when I moved in, was 18 years old, and he was basically living alone. The other tenant had just got out of a federal prison, but he spends most of his time on Cape Cod with his girlfriend. So Mr. Barnes wanted someone on the premises to assist with the 18-year-old and just kind of keep an eye on everything and, clean. I've done all the cleaning. I do everything. And so that was our agreement. And I live in a very tiny room. It's actually a closet. And I have access to the bathroom. Since February, I have had virtually no access to a kitchen. The landlord and his attorney have installed 2 different abuse proxies into the building. One is a paranoid schizophrenic diagnosed, and the other one has severe dementia. And the 2 of them spend their time in the building harassing me, threatening me, violating me, microaggressions all day long, stealing my food, stealing my kitchen supplies, choosing to deliberately not flush the toilet, just constantly harassing me, calling me names. The dementia person is also a very serious hoarder, and his belongings are covering the emergency exit for the building on the floor. That hoarding has now spread out onto the kitchen table, which is the kitchen's about 150 square feet. And there are 3 chairs for the 7 tenants now in the 900 square foot residential area. We also have a woman living in a camper van in the outdoor parking lot, front of the building parking lot. And she also comes in and out of the building to use the bathroom, et cetera, et cetera. And everybody has the security code for the building. The ringleader abuse proxy, the paranoid schizophrenic, is a former police officer from the island, and he pretends that he is the law enforcement living in the building. And he constantly leaves the front door standing open. Then he'll leave that floor, and he'll sometimes leave the building and not tell anyone. And then we have people walking in the building and nobody, I mean, it's absolute chaos, and there's no security, there's no privacy. I don't feel any safety. Neither does the other tenant who's been there with me. I've been there, as you know, 33 months. The other tenant's been there. The 18-year-old is now 21. He's been there almost 4 years. And
now the judge set the rate at $700 a month. Did you provide any evidence that called into question the testimony that the judge credited from the expert on real estate value?
Did I put in any testimony? Is that what you asked?
Or any evidence that called into question what the landlord put in as far as what the room
Yeah, I mean, I have 16 pages of non-frivolous defenses that were never addressed by Judge Michaud in the Southeast Housing Court. And these are extreme non-frivolous defenses.
He said in his remand order, though, that although you raised them, you did not supply any evidence to support them.
I have supplied lots of evidence. He has actually deleted 22 pages of evidence that I supplied to prove this. I've supplied, photos. We have a rat infestation. I've supplied photos of all sorts of things. This building basically violates every landlord-tenant law imaginable. It's a commercial building with no certificate of occupancy. The town building inspector and supervisor wanted to shut it down. They did shut it down in January 2020 because of the health and safety violations. As I say, I am now trapped in a tiny bedroom. I do not feel comfortable going in the kitchen. I've actually lost 22 pounds in the last 5 months. It's got grease all over it, dirt all over it, the dementia tenants' personal belongings all over it. It's repulsive. And one of the things that I did for all this time was I kept the kitchen immaculate. I kept the building or the bathroom immaculate. I made it habitable. It's a kind of a ramshackle living situation, but I made it very habitable, especially for the young man. The dementia patient calls he and I cockroaches daily. The abuse that's going on in the situation, and it's all designed to create a constructive eviction. They've tried everything imaginable to create a constructive eviction. And I was served papers by a sheriff's deputy last week in my bedroom about the landlord has now filed a motion to dismiss the appeal. And so I was handed them by a sheriff's deputy in my bedroom last week for a hearing next week. It's constantly like this. I was told that this hearing we're having now was to address the subject of that rent. I was also told not to pay it until this hearing was determined, because that's what it's about. So Judge Michaud had decided that I should pay $700 by July 1st, but then this hearing came up and I checked with your people there and they said, do not pay it because that's what this hearing's about. Right. The landlord has twice walked into my bedroom while I've been asleep in the past 2 or 3 weeks. I am being targeted, violated, abused, harassed, you name it, daily by multiple people. And I know that the landlord's attorney is also playing a role in this because I have overheard the conversations. One of the tenants knows every minute detail of this case, and it didn't come from the 81-year-old landlord. And, it's just unconscionable. I mean, they're stealing my stuff. They stole my pet's belongings. I came out of my bedroom last night at about 3 o'clock in the morning to notes taped on the floor outside my bedroom threatening me from one of the other tenants. The main tenant, that's the paranoid schizophrenic, has created a team on behalf of the landlord. They call it the winning team, and they think it's lots of fun. And they basically just target me all the time. And
okay, I think I'm
also, excuse me, Your Honor, I'm also grieving the death of 15 people in my life right now, which the landlord and the attorney know all about. So I'm telling the truth. I've done nothing wrong. I am being harassed and abused like crazy. And I am living through an unimaginable chapter of my life. And this is unconscionable. This is unconscionable all over.
I think we'll thank you very much. Now we'll hear from Mr. Solner, please.
Mm.
Good morning, Your Honor. Much of what you just heard is brand new. I'm hearing it for the first time. So to hear this on appeal is, I think it's a little late to the game. Yes, we had a hearing. There was evidence presented. We had a professional in the real estate market here on the Vineyard testify as to what a one-room place would be valued at. And she put the value between $900 and $1,200 a month. My client testified that he charges everyone else in the building $700 a month. There was no evidence whatsoever given by Ms. Seymour, even when she was offered the chance to refute that. So the judge has set the use and occupancy at $700 a month. Judge Rashad also made an order that she begin paying this on July 1st. And if she hadn't or otherwise perfected her appeal, then the appeal would be dismissed upon a motion that I did file on the 5th of July. And yes, there is a hearing scheduled for Monday on that motion.
May I speak?
Wait, I want to make sure, is there anything else you wanted to tell me, Mr. Saulnier?
Well, this hearing is about that $700 use and occupancy. If the court wants to get into the details of the underlying details of the eviction, I'd be glad to speak to that also. But
I'm familiar with the record. So
very good.
You can respond just briefly, Ms. Seymour.
Well, one of the points I want to make is that there is a motion in limine that was filed and approved by Judge Michaud regarding Attorney Saulnier constant stalking of me and harassing me through these people and himself. He is fixated on me, and he spreads tremendous misinformation and defamatory gossip to whoever will listen to it. He's obsessed with me. It's bizarre. In regard to the cost of the room, I am in the tiniest room in the building. I literally live in a closet, and it is not comparable to the other rooms that pay $700. But once again, the entire point of my appeal is that I do not pay rent, and there is nothing to prove otherwise. And for me to start paying rent makes no sense when that's exactly what I'm appealing, that I don't pay rent. And also, the landlord has made no mention of paying me for what I've done for him, while he's taken about $110,000 in cash. So between the fact that the situation is not only inhabitable, but abusive, and the health and safety and privacy violations are innumerable, I never agreed to pay rent. So I don't understand why I would be paying rent while I'm appealing that very subject.
Okay, I understand. I will take this under advisement, and I'll have a ruling for you as soon as possible. Can
I ask you something? I spoke to Attorney Connolly earlier, and he said that I should ask you. I would like to file a status review. I'm sorry that I didn't get that done before today, but is that something that I can file this afternoon?
It's not necessary.
You sure? Because there's a lot of detail.
Okay, if it wasn't before Judge Michaud, then it's not before me. So